Okay, guys, I think that we have to take a different tact now in in our resistance. Now we're in a different phase of this, and I see some people are hesitant to really fight and use strong language. No, I'm not talking about dropping the F-bomb or something like that, but I am talking about being very direct when people are lying, misrepresenting, doing everything they can to try and rewrite history and the truth. So I think we have to be direct, and we can't look at it as being bitchy or mean or anything like that, because we are beyond that. We will get it right eventually, but I don't think we have the luxury of time. I talked yesterday about, I loved how Michelle Obama is not going to go to Trump's inauguration, and she's not giving a reason why. And Kamala Harris is not doing the seemingly obligatory, polite, bring the next VP and his wife in to look at the house and have meetings and everything. She's working with the transition teams, but we are talking about people who are traitors to this country. You do not treat them kindly and with politeness. We saw George W. Bush go into the church for the Carter funeral, give Obama a friendly pat, completely ignore the Trumps. We saw this with Karen Pence as well. She did not get up to greet them, did not shake their hand, nothing. This is how it's done. That's not uncivil, but we have to decide who we're going to be as a country if we survive Trump. And you don't get that. You don't succeed by normalizing them. Okay. They tried to overthrow the government. They've cheated in elections. Trump is a traitor. He's a criminal. He's a rapist. I've said this many times. We don't have to go over it over and over again, but we know what happened. You do not pretend that it didn't happen simply because they managed to win squeak by the hair of their nose. Okay. Or whatever the term is. And yes, I think they cheated. All right. Things are not adding up. But again, it shouldn't even have been close. But the minute Trump was allowed to run, because Merrick Garland didn't do his job, he was already at that 50% mark, because we're a 50-50 country, and then we just play in the margins. And that's where the trouble began. He should never have gotten to the point where he'd even credibly run, because he starts out as a nominee. So we do not treat them like they are normal, law-abiding, decent human beings, because they're not. We cannot be a part of letting history be rewritten by our own behavior. And we have to take these people on when they try to misrepresent, especially the hypocrites and the Nepo babies. And I'm looking now at Meghan McCain, okay? Meghan McCain, who talks about her father all the time. She was not one of his children who was even born yet when he was a POW, but she seems to be the one who likes to capitalize on it as some sort of a personal story. Here's what she tweets. People who leave California for another state because California is an untenable mess, but bring their progressive politics with them, is something I can tell you from my friends in Arizona is a big source of confusion and frustration for people. Okay, couple of things. As I love Shannon Watts. She is so direct on this stuff, so she fires back. The governor of Arizona is a Democrat. The mayor of Phoenix, where Meghan grew up, is a Democrat. The mayor of Sedona, where her family has a home, is a Democrat. Meanwhile, Meghan is claimed to have homes in LA, New York City, and DC, all run by Democrats. Okay. Meghan McCain is a hypocrite. We know that. A complete Nepo baby. I just shape at these Nepo babies without any political experience besides being someone's kid or spouse, and all of a sudden they are political experts. And she gets TV contracts for this, and her position on The View, which she left because she knew she couldn't even keep that up. Her positions were untenable. Her positions were stupid, not informed, and most of it she got from her husband, because her father didn't even agree with those types of politics. Now, she is married to somebody who's been a Fox News contributor, one of the founding and publisher, editor, whatever, of The Federalist. And he actually, Meghan is his third wife. And so he was on number 3 by age 36. He had been fired twice for plagiarism and also caught accepting $33,000 in bribes to write favorably about the Malaysian government. Okay? This is Meghan McCain's husband. I don't even want to grace him with giving his name out there because he's quite the character. So when you call these people out on this stuff, again, all true things, all true, they block you on Twitter. So Meghan McCain is out there now claiming that all these Democratic cities in which she has lived and thrived are all really angry when all these Democrats leave California and come to Arizona and start making it liberal. So I love what Shannon Watts did because she jumped right on it and did fact checking. Now we know that Facebook and all things Meta are not going to do fact checking any longer. They are capitulating to Trump and his lies and misinformation and the Putin spreading of the propaganda. So Mark Zuckerberg is doing exactly that. He's capitulating. So we have to do our own fact checking. And the one thing that you can do is if you're not doing you don't have the resources or the time to do your own fact checking, when someone like Shannon Watts is out there, or me or others, where we come up with the facts and we put it out there, please retweet it. Put it all over Facebook. That is something that we can all do and catch these people right away, right in the act. You don't want to let, a lie goes around the world and, then you never are able to catch up with it. So the sooner that we correct these lies and call out these people on it, and don't just correct them, shame them. Meghan McCain is a hypocrite through and through. So is her husband. They just are. And we need to call people out like that. As soon as they spread the lies, as soon as they start saying this crap, Meghan McCain is very, very well aware. By the way, her husband is Ben Domenech. I decided to give his name out anyway. Meghan McCain and Ben Domenech are obviously very confident that MAGA is stupid, that Trump followers are stupid, except for the oligarchs and the gazillionaires that are all, going to get very, very rich off this incoming administration. They know what Trump is. They know he's a traitor and a criminal and a liar and a rapist, the whole 9 yards. They know he's a bad businessman, and they know he belongs in prison. But they're going to get something out of it. So that's all they care about. The rest of them are the unwashed masses. A lot of the friends you see on Facebook who believe this crap. These people who vote MAGA, believe whatever Fox News tells them, right? They go to the rallies. They're idiots. And you got to call them idiots. Maybe in 2016, those of us who have been doing politics for a long time, and yes, I've been a professor and I've actually made my living in politics, and we correctly termed the Trump supporters in 2015 and 2016 as low information voters. They were gullible. They didn't know how to decipher between, this untrue stuff and these weird little websites that they saw on Facebook and the stuff that got spread around. They had no idea what real news outlets were versus this right wing and Putin-backed stuff. They are low information voters, and they started believing just anything that Newsmax or Fox tells them. Okay, low information voters. It is actually a term that we use in politics. It is real. It is not even meant as a smear. But call them out. And I think now, because they should know better and they've heard enough, and now these are the people that attack the Capitol. They get so fired up, and Trump gets them so riled up that they will kill for him and have killed for him. So now I think you can call them stupid. They are low information voters who are now willfully stupid, willfully ignorant, and violent. And they're putting their love of Trump and their adoration of Trump before their country. I put Meghan McCain in the category of someone who puts truth and love of country and patriotism and puts that because of her career. She puts all that behind. That comes second. She's doing this for her career and maybe for her marriage. She doesn't want to be the third ex-wife of Ben Domenech. So she's willing to go against everything that her father stood for. Yes, he was a Republican, but he wouldn't even be allowed in the Republican Party right now. The MAGA hated him, of course. The right wing hated him. And that started with George W. Bush. I was actually a John McCain supporter starting in 1999. Remember the big primary? And I had meetings in his little office in Old Town Alexandria. I met with his campaign manager. I was in the late night burgers and beer meetings. And it was just this cruddy little headquarters that the other candidates who had headquarters in Old Town, which is where a lot of them do, wouldn't even go in it because it was so gross. The building has since been torn down. But I remember I walked in and I looked around Rick Davis's office with the furniture, and I said, okay, I think I had this exact furniture in my college apartment, because this was such a grassroots small campaign. You know, he didn't have the funding. And remember, John McCain, when he ran the second time, he was so low budget that at some point, to save money, he was literally, you know, they're flying commercial, and he was literally, pulling his own suitcase around behind him through airports. So he was not this ostentatious little snit like his daughter. And I doubt very much that his older children are this way, because you know what? They were the ones who were here at home when he was a POW. Meghan was born after when he married his second wife, when he married Meghan's mother, and then they had kids. So she was not one of the kids that suffered while her father was a POW, yet she somehow has become the spokesmodel for him. This is ridiculous. So I think I think her husband has used her fame to push his agenda, because her politics are not the same as her father's. So for her to make this wild statement that all these people are leaving liberal California and bringing their liberal politics with them when they move to Arizona, and Arizona hates that. Good for Shannon Watts for pointing out that Arizona has a Democrat governor, and the cities where Meghan has grown up and has family homes are run by Democrats, and her city of DC and New York and LA, regular folks all have 3 homes in those cities, right? Right, guys? Oh yeah, they're all run by Democrats. So maybe Meghan McCain, since she doesn't have a show or a platform or actual real political experience outside of being a politician's daughter, maybe she should just sit down and shut her trap. Okay? Let's see how that works out for Ben, though. You got to wonder, gosh, how long would his career last if she did completely disappear? So, these professional political couples sometimes drive me nuts. When your politics can be your career, but when your personal life starts being your career and you start exploiting it, it's a little bit sickening, isn't it? But get used to a lot of that from the Mar-a-Lago crowd when they come in, and we'll see how the media reacts to this. But for right now, again, I'm commending Shannon Watts for being on top of this, and I think we need to amplify what she has said so that everybody knows that Meghan McCain is not someone to be listened to. She's not authentic. She's a hypocrite. And she gets her facts wrong. You want to say that she lies? Well, let's just say she gets her facts wrong. She doesn't belong in this arena, and she wouldn't be if her last name wasn't McCain. So is that rude? I think we are beyond the point where we have to be concerned about being rude. We are in the fight of our lives to save this country. And these other people out there, people like Meghan McCain, are out there doing all they can to help Trump tear down this country. Call them out. Don't be afraid of them. This is what we have to do. And if somebody tells you that it's not civil, tell them to shove it up there. You know what? Seriously, I'm sick of these folks. They're traitors.